All right, everyone, get ready, because today we're diving deep into the world of rapid weight loss supplements.
Oh, yeah.
You know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The kind that promise you'll be dropping pounds like crazy faster than you can say beach body.
Right.
We've got some excerpts here from an article called Rapid Weight Loss Supplements. Do they really work? And we're going to take a look and see if they actually live up to all the hype.
Well, it's interesting how these supplements always seem to pop up, especially, when summertime is right around the corner.
Yeah, right. Like they know that we're all thinking about how to fit into those swimsuits.
Exactly.
Okay, but before we jump ahead and start drawing any conclusions, let's break this down.
Yeah.
What are these supplements actually all about, and what are they claiming to do?
Okay, so basically, at their core, these supplements are products that contain a whole mix of ingredients.
Okay.
Some of them are natural, some are synthetic, but they all supposedly speed up weight loss. They
Right.
come in all kinds of forms. Pills, powders, teas, you name it. It's a whole variety.
So it's like a shortcut to weight loss.
Yeah.
You just pop a pill and then, poof, watch the pounds melt away.
That's the idea.
That's pretty tempting, especially when you're struggling with that stubborn fat that just doesn't want to go away.
Well, yeah, that's definitely the allure, right?
Yeah.
But the real question is, do they actually work?
Yeah.
I mean, do they actually work as advertised?
Right.
And more importantly, are they safe?
Let's start by taking a look at some of the ingredients.
Okay.
Some of these sound pretty familiar, like caffeine and green tea extract.
Yeah.
I mean, I know those can give you an energy boost for sure,
Yeah.
but can they really help you shed those extra pounds?
Okay, well, for example, you mentioned caffeine.
Yeah.
Caffeine is a stimulant that can increase your metabolism,
Uh,
makes your body burn more calories.
yeah.
It's found in a lot of these supplements, often in higher doses than you would get from like your morning cup of coffee or something like that.
So it's like it's putting your metabolism into overdrive.
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
Does that actually lead to noticeable weight loss, though?
Well, the research is kind of mixed on that.
Okay.
Some studies show a small short-term effect, but it's usually not significant enough to make a real difference in the long run.
Yeah.
And we can't forget that too much caffeine can lead to things like the jitters, anxiety, even problems sleeping.
Right. Not exactly the side effects you're hoping for when you're trying to get healthier.
Exactly.
Okay, what about green tea extract? That's got to be good,
Yeah.
right? It's full of antioxidants, and it's always touted as like this amazing weight loss miracle.
Yeah, green tea extract has these compounds called catechins,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been studied for their potential to, boost your metabolism and increase how much fat you burn.
Right.
But once again, the evidence isn't super strong.
Right.
It's just not as convincing as the hype would make you think.
It seems like the science behind a lot of these ingredients is not as solid as the marketing claims.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. And it's not just caffeine and green tea extract either.
Oh, is there more?
Oh, yeah. Many weight loss supplements contain a whole bunch of other ingredients, like Garcinia Cambogia,
Yeah, I've heard of that.
conjugated linoleic acid.
Oh, wow.
That's also called CLA glucomannan,
Okay.
raspberry ketones.
I've heard of those too.
They all come with their own set of so-called benefits.
Uh-huh.
And like the others, they all lack that strong scientific backing.
Let's take Garcinia Cambogia as an example.
Okay.
It's been all over the media, claiming to block fat production and suppress appetite.
No.
Like a double whammy.
Garcinia Cambogia contains a compound called HCA,
Okay.
which is believed to interfere with an enzyme that's involved in fat storage. So
Uh-huh.
the idea is that if you block this enzyme,
Yeah,
you can prevent your body from storing those excess calories as fat.
that sounds pretty convincing, but is there actually any truth to that?
Well, unfortunately, the research on Garcinia Cambogia is pretty disappointing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some studies have shown a very modest effect on weight loss,
Oh.
while others have found no effect at all.
Oh, wow.
And on top of that, there's always the risk of side effects.
Like what?
Things like digestive issues and headaches.
So not exactly the magic bullet it's made out to be.
Not even close.
And is it the same story for the other popular ingredients in these supplements?
Yeah, pretty much. The
Hmm.
claims often sound really promising,
Yeah.
but when you actually take the time to dig into the research,
Yeah.
the evidence is often weak, inconclusive, or even contradictory.
So then what's with all these bold claims?
Right.
If the science is so iffy, how can these companies be allowed to just make promises like that?
Well, that's where things start to get really interesting
Okay.
and maybe a little concerning too.
I'm listening.
Unlike medications, which have to go through all those rigorous testing and approval processes you hear about,
Yeah.
the supplement industry is a lot less regulated.
Oh,
This means that these companies can basically make all kinds of claims without actually having to back them up
yeah.
with solid scientific evidence.
So it's basically buyer beware.
Pretty much.
You really have to be extra careful about what you're putting into your body,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to these products that just promise quick and easy results, you know?
Absolutely. It's so easy to get caught up in the hype,
Right.
especially when you're constantly being bombarded with, those before and after pictures and all those glowing testimonials.
It's easy to think, oh, if it worked for them, it'll work for me.
Exactly. But it's crucial to remember that those marketing tactics don't always reflect the real results.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
It's so true.
And that's why it's so important to do your research, be critical of the claims that are being made, and definitely talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement.
Absolutely. That's great advice. It's important to acknowledge that for some people,
Yeah.
the idea of taking a supplement is probably a lot more appealing than actually making those lifestyle changes.
Oh,
So you're just looking for a quick fix.
Right. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
It's human nature to want things to be easy and fast.
Right.
But when it comes to weight loss, there's really no substitute for a healthy lifestyle.
And speaking of healthy lifestyles,
Mm-hmm.
let's say someone is really determined to lose weight fast
Okay.
and they're considering these supplements.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
I'd start by acknowledging their desire for those fast results.
Okay.
But I would definitely emphasize that true sustainable weight loss, it's a journey, not a sprint.
Okay.
It's all about making those gradual changes to your diet, your exercise routine, your overall lifestyle, changes that you can maintain over time.
So it's not about depriving yourself or going on some crazy extreme diet.
No, not at all.
It's more about finding that balance.
Exactly.
Something you can actually stick with.
Right. And while those quick fixes might seem tempting in the moment, they often lead to what we call yo-yo dieting,
Yeah.
which can be really detrimental to your health in the long run.
Before we get more into the potential risks and side effects of these supplements,
Yeah.
I want to take a minute to remind our listeners about something really important.
Okay.
If you're looking for a safe and healthy way to support your weight loss journey, well, there are options available,
There are.
right from the comfort of your own home.
Oh, wow.
You can find out more by visiting https://m.lsalutweightloss or by clicking on the link in the description of this deep dive.
Great.
Now, getting back to our discussion, let's unpack some of those potential risks.
Okay.
What are some of the downsides to relying on these rapid weight loss supplements?
Well, we've talked about the lack of regulation, the shaky science, and the potential for side effects.
Yeah.
But are there any other concerns?
Absolutely. One of the biggest concerns is the potential for side effects.
Oh, right. And these can range from mild digestive issues like nausea, diarrhea, bloating, to more serious problems like
No.
heart palpitations, liver damage,
Wow.
and even interactions with other medications you might be taking. And, it's not always easy to predict who will experience these side effects or how severe they will be.
So it's kind of a gamble.
Yeah.
You just never really know how your body's going to react.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to talk to a healthcare professional
Okay.
before taking any weight loss supplement.
Yeah.
They can assess your individual health history, look at any medications you're taking, and advise you on the potential risks and benefits.
It's like those warnings you see on medication bottles, like consult your doctor if.
Exactly. It's not just a formality. It's
Yeah.
about putting your health first and making informed decisions.
Okay, so we've talked about the lack of regulation, the shaky science, and the potential for side effects.
Yeah.
But what about the mental and emotional impact?
Oh, you mean the psychological impact?
Yeah, exactly, like relying on these supplements. What does that do to you?
That's another really important thing to think about.
Okay.
These supplements often create this false sense of security.
How so?
Well, people start taking them and they think, okay, I can eat whatever I want, or I can skip my workouts because the supplement's going to take care of it.
Oh, I see. It's like a mental shortcut.
Yeah, but one that can seriously backfire.
In what way?
It can actually undermine their efforts to build healthy habits
Right.
and lead to this cycle of dependence on those supplements.
So instead of dealing with the root of the problem.
Exactly. They're not addressing the root causes of their weight issues.
Right.
They're just relying on a temporary fix that, might not even work in the end.
And what happens when they stop taking the supplement?
Well, that's when the yo-yo dieting cycle often kicks in.
Oh.
They might initially lose some weight, but once they stop taking the supplement, they gain it all back.
and sometimes even more.
Yeah, it's not a sustainable solution in the long run.
So it can actually be more harmful than helpful in the end.
Absolutely, and it can be really discouraging
Yeah,
and really damage their self-esteem.
that makes sense.
It's a slippery slope.
This is kind of making me think about those makeover shows on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Where people go through these drastic transformations, like in a ridiculously short amount of time.
Yeah.
It seems so easy when you watch it on TV.
It does, doesn't it?
But the reality is, it's so much more complex than that.
It really is weight loss. Like any meaningful change takes time, effort, and consistency.
Yeah, definitely not a quick fix.
There's no magic bullet, no matter what the advertising tries to tell you.
So let's talk about what does work.
Okay.
If someone is serious about losing weight and keeping it off,
Right?
what are some safe and sustainable strategies they should be focusing on?
Well, it all starts with taking a holistic approach.
Okay,
One that addresses both the physical and psychological aspects of weight management.
I like that.
This includes having a balanced diet, regular exercise, finding ways to manage your stress, and getting enough sleep.
Okay, let's break those down a bit.
Sure.
What does a balanced diet actually look like in this context?
It's not about deprivation or following some crazy restrictive diet.
Right.
It's about nourishing your body with good, wholesome food.
What kind of food are we talking about here?
Whole unprocessed foods, things like fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains.
Sounds pretty straightforward.
It is, and it's also about paying attention to how much you're eating.
Portion control.
Yeah, and learning to really listen to your body's signals.
When you're hungry and when you're full.
Exactly.
So it's more about making those gradual changes to your eating habits
Yeah.
instead of going on one of those crash diets.
Precisely. And it's about finding a way of eating that works for you
Okay,
and that you can maintain for the long haul.
that makes sense.
You don't want something you can only do for a week or two.
Right, what about exercise? How important is that for healthy weight management?
Exercise is super important.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah, for lots of reasons.
Like what?
Well, first off, it helps you burn calories and build muscle mass,
Uh-huh.
which can boost your metabolism, improve your mood, and reduce stress.
That's amazing.
And it doesn't have to be all grueling and boring either.
Right.
Find activities that you actually enjoy.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Whether it's dancing, swimming, hiking, or even just taking a brisk walk out in nature.
I think a lot of people get intimidated by the idea of exercise,
I know, I get it.
but it really doesn't have to be a chore.
It's about finding what you enjoy and making it a part of your life.
I love that.
And remember, every little bit counts,
That's good to remember
Even just short bursts of activity throughout your day can add up.
and make a difference.
Exactly.
We've talked about diet and exercise,
Mm-hmm.
but you also mentioned stress management and sleep.
Oh, right.
How do those fit into this whole picture?
Well, when you're under chronic stress, it can mess with your hormones. And that can actually contribute to weight gain.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
So finding healthy ways to manage that stress can make a big difference.
What are some examples of stress management techniques?
Well, you could try yoga, meditation, or spending time in nature.
Those all sound really relaxing.
They are, and they can really help.
And what about sleep?
Getting enough sleep is also super important.
How so?
Because it helps regulate the hormones that control your appetite and your metabolism.
So it really is all about taking a holistic approach to your health.
It is.
Recognizing that everything is connected.
Exactly. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports your overall well-being,
Right.
not just focusing on the number you see on the scale.
That's a great point. It's about so much more than that.
It really is.
It's interesting how we tend to look for those quick fixes when it comes to weight loss.
It's tempting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But those quick fixes rarely actually address the underlying issues.
It's like putting a Band-Aid on a much deeper wound.
Exactly. It might cover it up for a little while, but it won't actually heal it.
So what's the takeaway message here for our listeners?
Okay.
Especially for those who might be feeling overwhelmed or discouraged by all this information.
All right.
What's the very first step they can take toward a healthier relationship with their weight?
I'd say the first step is to just be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself.
Weight loss is a journey. It's not a race.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have setbacks along the way.
So it's more about progress over perfection.
Exactly.
That's a good way to look at it.
And it's important to focus on making those small, sustainable changes.
Yeah.
Changes that you can stick with over time.
Yeah.
Don't try to change everything all at once.
Yeah. That's overwhelming.
Start with just one small change.
Okay, what kind of small change?
Like maybe drink more water or add an extra serving of vegetables to your meals.
Those are good ones.
And once that becomes a habit, you can add another small change.
So it's about building momentum,
Yeah, and creating that positive feedback loop.
so you feel good about the changes you're making.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for help,
That's a good point.
Talk to your doctor, a registered dietitian, or a certified personal trainer.
Yeah, there are people who can help
There are people who can help you through this journey.
and create a plan that actually works for you.
Exactly, a plan that's tailored just for you.
And remember, you don't have to go through this alone.
You really don't.
There are so many resources available to support you every step of the way.
Absolutely.
And speaking of resources, if you're looking for a safe and healthy way to support your weight loss journey, you can find out more by visiting https://m.l/weightloss or by clicking on the link in the description of this deep dive.
Great.
Now let's wrap up our discussion about these rapid weight loss supplements.
Okay.
They might seem like a tempting solution,
I know.
but as we've been discussing,
Yeah.
the reality is often far more complex and potentially risky.
Yeah.
So before you reach for that bottle of pills
Yeah.
or that miracle tea,
Mm-hmm.
take a moment to consider the bigger picture.
Good advice.
Ask yourself, what are my long-term goals?
Right?
What kind of lifestyle do I really want to create for myself?
Mm-hmm.
And are these supplements actually going to help me get there? Sounds like the big takeaway here is that sustainable weight loss is more about building those healthy habits,
Right.
and making smart choices than just relying on those quick fixes.
Absolutely. It's about that holistic approach we were talking about.
Right.
Addressing both the physical and the psychological parts of weight management.
And of course, being patient with yourself.
Yeah.
Recognizing that real change takes time and effort.
And I think it's also really important to remember that everyone's journey is different.
That's true.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Right.
It's all about finding what feels right for you, for your body, for your lifestyle.
That's a great point. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Not at all. And it's certainly not about comparing yourself to other people or trying to achieve some, unrealistic ideal.
And that's where social media can be so tricky.
Oh, tell me about it.
You're constantly seeing images of these perfect bodies and all these quick fix solutions.
Yeah, and it's so easy to get caught up in that and start feeling like you don't measure up.
And no.
But it's so important to remember that those images are often, heavily edited.
Right.
They don't reflect reality.
It's like comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel.
Exactly, and it's just not a fair comparison.
Right.
So focus on your own journey, celebrate your own progress, and just be kind to yourself along the way.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of rapid weight loss supplements, what are some of the key things you want our listeners to take away from this?
Well, I think the most important thing is to remember that their health is their most valuable asset.
It's true. It's not worth risking your health for a quick fix.
It's exactly to do your research, consult with healthcare professionals, and be critical of any product that's promising miracles.
It's all about being an informed consumer
Yes.
and making choices that empower you,
Exactly.
not ones that make you feel pressured or like you're not good enough.
And, it's good to remember that true wellness is a journey, not a destination.
I like that.
It's about making those gradual, sustainable changes that support both your physical and mental health for the long haul.
It's about finding that joy in movement, nourishing your body with good, wholesome food,
Yes.
and prioritizing your well-being.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's about creating a lifestyle that feels good, both inside and out.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Whoa.
We hope this exploration of rapid weight loss supplements has been informative and empowering for you.
It's been great chatting with you.
And remember, there's absolutely no shame in reaching out to qualified healthcare professionals who can give you personalized advice and support.
Exactly. And there are definite resources out there if you're looking for safe and healthy ways to support your weight loss journey.
If you're curious, you can find out more by visiting https://m.l/weightloss or by clicking on the link in the description of this deep dive.
That's right.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay healthy.